Welcome back to our adventure along the Holland Track, a historic stretch of land in the Goldfields region of WA. In last week's episode, Nathan and I made our way up the southern half of the track, crossing endless bog holes, climbing mountains and just soaking in all the track had to offer. And today we're waking up to another incredible day in the Australian bush. So it is day 2 on the Holland Track. A bit of a cloudy day today, but it should be good nonetheless.
Yeah, a bit like yesterday I reckon. It's cloudy now, but it should clear up.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So Nathan's at it again with the Osbri this morning, making some bacon and egg sandwiches.
That's it, bacon, eggs, toasties on the fire.
Look like they're pretty much ready, I'd say. We're getting close to it. So just, gonna have a bit of a quick breakfast, pack camp away, get back on the track and do some more exploring today.
Yep, looking forward to it.
So I just stopped in at the little visitors box here on the Holland Track, a little bit less than halfway through the track.
Yeah, sign your name, say that you've done the track or you're at least halfway through the track. And
leave something behind apparently, whether that's some earplugs or a water bottle.
Yep, there's a whole bunch of stuff.
A couple of beers.
We've had a fair few cars come through just a couple of days ago, but it's good to see, the track's pretty well looked after really.
All right, we'll add our entry to the book and keep moseying along.
Yeah, sounds good.
Well, there you go. Let us know if you're down this way and see the entry in the book. I can't imagine it's going to be there for too long with how quick these books tend to fill up.
Yeah, it's a pretty popular track this one, which is why I'm surprised that we've only seen one other vehicle parked up yesterday. That was it.
Must have picked a good weekend, I reckon.
Yeah.
So you've done this track a few times now here, Nathan, and it's quite a historic track, this one. Do you know much about the history of it?
Yeah, so it was back in 1893 when John Holland cut this track, and it was all to do with the gold in this area. The track was cut pretty much to make easy access from Albany all the way up to Coolgardie, which back then was the centre of the gold rush. And believe it or not, in 1897, Coolgardie was actually the 3rd biggest town in WA. So it was Perth, Fremantle, and then Coolgardie, which is pretty significant because obviously these day and age, we're looking at a population of about 800 or 900 people there. Back in the late 1800s and early 1900s, look at a population of about 25,000. So its money and the influx in there was, very significant. And now we have the remnants of this track, which sort of disappeared for a while. And now it's open for us all to enjoy.
Yeah, it's so nice to be able to actually still experience that little piece of history. And I'll tell you what, it must have been quite an effort for them to originally cut this track back in 1893, I'll tell you that much. I got to say, massive respect to the Toyota Land Cruiser Club of WA for the effort they put into this track. This is one of the most well-maintained, rubbish-free, campsite plenty tracks I've ever experienced. So massive appreciation to them to going to the time and the effort to actually A, reopen this track in the first place, but B, just maintain it to such a high standard. It's really something to appreciate and be thankful for. As we drove past an area of bushland undergoing a prescribed burn, the scenery all around the vehicles changed once again, and we found ourselves driving through a dusty and barren landscape. The landscape along the Holland Track is incredibly flat, so when there's the opportunity to climb even a small hill, it's well worth doing so, because the views you are treated to at the top are pretty epic. So I figured it was only fair, after Nathan's taken care of pretty much all our meals so far, that I take care of lunch. So I got some cheeky burgers on the go, just a bit of a cold special really, with some few added bits and pieces in there, but hopefully be quite tasty.
I'm sure it will.
And they're all cooked on my $25 Kmart stove, which is my latest addition to my camping setup. Obviously I got rid of the old setup just with everything as it was, so the stove went. I'm essentially starting from scratch. Needed something, at least in the interim, to kind of get me by for trips like these. Got $25 from Kmart, can't go wrong, and I've been pretty pleased with it so far.
Yeah, it's doing the job very well.
I have borrowed Nathan's windshield, which is definitely making a big difference. Bit of wind where we are right now, but happy days, burgers on the way.
Yeah, perfect.
After a quick lunch stop, we were back on the track in search of some traditional gnamma holes. These are naturally occurring cavities found in hard rock that act as catchment areas for fresh water, and they were actually one of the main sources of water for the Aboriginal people in this area. So this area is known for active gnamma holes, which are these little reservoirs of water in the rock, natural formations, to my understanding at least. We're just looking at the water here. It looks pretty clear, like almost drinkable. We're not really too sure what the situation is there.
Yeah, we'll say it, but I don't think we'll be trying it.
Yeah, there's a few in this area. We've had a bit of a wander around checking out the rest too. This is by far the clearest in terms of water purity looks-wise, but very interesting, and it's about a foot or so deep in there, and
I'm sure it would save your life. If you're out here and you're stranded, it would save your life, you know?
yeah, definitely.
Get you going for a few more days.
So as the sun sets over another amazing day in the bush, we're actually approaching the end of the Holland Track, and for the first time in the last 2 days we've come across a section of the track which has actually been graded. As I say that, I go across a bit of a corrugated section, but trust me, it's a lot better than some of the bumps we've been experiencing. Not that we're complaining, it's part of the fun of their tracks like these, is they're not going to be the smoothest of terrain, but for the last 10 k's or so we'll happily take a slightly smoother journey. So we just rocked up at some matching signs at the opposite end of the Holland Track, which can only mean one thing. The track has officially come to an end for us.
We've done it, yep.
Yeah, what an epic couple of days.
Yeah, it has been real good. 36 hours ago, we're standing at the start of it.
Yeah.
Back in Hyden, and now we're all the way here. about 60 or 80 kilometres south of Coolgardie.
Yeah, it just blows me away how much there actually is to see and do on this track.
Yeah.
So many campsites, so many just attractions to pull off and see. Not all of them were documented in this video. We just kind of did a bit of a highlight reel of the track essentially. But so much to do, definitely worth making the trip out to explore this area.
Yeah, for sure. There's a lot of changing scenery as well. It's not just the same thing over and over again. So it's, it keeps it fresh as you go along.
Definitely.
You're not getting bored as you drive along, and it's a good time, as we were discussing earlier, a good time for a weekend. It's not too much, it's not too little, you can relax, slow the pace down. And
it's also like one of the quietest tracks I've experienced. Like we've got this whole place to ourselves. We've seen 2 cars in the past 2 days. So that's also a nice touch too. It makes you feel like you have more of a remote surroundings.
Yeah, and the camping out here is awesome. When you got it by yourself, you're hundreds of kilometres from any nearby town. It's it's something special.
Yeah, definitely a worthwhile track doing. So thank you so much for bringing us along. Really appreciate
no dramas. Thanks for coming
showing
along.
me. No, my absolute pleasure. And what I should have mentioned yesterday is Nathan also runs his own YouTube channel called Exploring Oz. Phenomenal channel, some of the most thorough, in-depth, and just informative content on YouTube. So
thank you.
Definitely check him out if you haven't already. I know a lot of you guys would have already been familiar with his channel, but just wanted to put that out there because it's one of the channels that I regularly reference as my main source of content for the topics you cover.
Appreciate that.
No worries at all. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching and joining us on this little adventure, and I'll catch you in the next video.
Catch you later.
Drink it for YouTube.
I want to make the next episode.